Hey guys, welcome to Connect with Jonathan Mark. I have an amazing episode lined up with a close friend of mine. You guys may know him from The Bachelor or recently from the show The Traitors. It's Pete Weber, aka Pilot Pete. Also, later on in the episode, I will be updating you guys about an unsolved case that I've been working on. All right, guys, let's get into it. Pete, how are you? Oh my God, it's been so long.
My guy, I know it's way too long. Yeah, I guess so. What last time was the Ranger game, MSG, but good to be connected.
Good show title name too. I see what you did. But,
picking up what I'm putting down, huh?
I see that. You know what I always get all the time? People come up to me and they bring up the ghost hunting thing that you and I did like a few years back.
Is that right? Yeah.
Dude, people come up to me all the time when I'm like, because you know, when I go into the city. And they're like, What were the spots that you and Pete went to for the ghost hunting stuff?
Dude, it's funny you bring that up. I actually, I do, one of my favorite things to do in the city is ride city bikes. Obviously just to get around, like for transportation, but also just for fun. And I always go by Washington Square Park. And I always think of you when we go there. And then that corner, like I always see that house. It's kind of creepy, obviously. But I see that house and then I see that tree. And it always is like a little eerie, but I always think of you when I ride by there because I do it all the time.
You know what's funny is like that was the first time I've ever done that. Like I've never done like ghost hunting or anything. Like that was never like something I thought I could do, honestly. And it was the craziest thing. Like if people saw like the cemetery part, that was crazy. Like I try to explain to people and I can't even put it into words. At times, I'm like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was like...
I mean, you were the one that told me, I think, right, that the majority of the parks in New York City, they're cemeteries, right?
No, that's what the tour guy said.
Oh, that's what the tour guy said. Okay, which I didn't realize. And that's super eerie as well. I had no idea. I feel like most people in New York don't know that. Obviously, that's kept kind of a secret for good reason. But I guess kind of like a holy place too, though, in a way. You know, laid to rest there, but wild.
Dude, I watched you on The Traitors. You killed it, man. I had no idea you were on that show. Like, I had no clue.
Thank you.
I put it on. I'm like, no way. I'm like, this is amazing. You crushed it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was very, very last minute. I literally got a call like a week before. Had no idea this was like even in the works. I think maybe I was like a replacement or a last minute fill-in for someone because it was so quick. And then I had seen a couple episodes of the first season. Ari, one of my friends from The Bachelor, he had been on that first season, so I had known about it, and then immediately just finished watching that whole season, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah, I got to say yes to this," and had the time of my life. That was a blast. Really enjoyed that.
So cool. I was watching it like. Actually, Jess is the one who told me about it. She's like, Pete's on the show. And I was like, no way. Yeah. So I put it on and I was like, you played that game like so well. I was like super impressed, dude. And plus where it was located in that castle, I thought it was really cool. On top of everything like that was going on. Where was it exactly?
So we actually went to it was in the Highlands of Scotland. And yeah, they had this, I mean, just absolutely, obviously you see it on the screen. Stunning castle, old time castle. Built in the Highlands, up in the mountains there with gorgeous rivers just rushing by, all in the woods. Like truly, just you're kind of like pinching yourself the entire time. It was that stunning. But just a very fun environment, very different than anything obviously I'd done before. Like obviously the whole concept was very different. I got to kind of let my competitive side kind of come out more and more personality with that. So I really enjoyed it. Very grateful for that opportunity. And who knows? Maybe I'm not done with it. We'll see. Maybe we got some more seasons in us. So.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just about to ask you, I'm like, are you going to continue to do those types of shows? Because you are like, from my perspective, and I think from many others too, was it very high stressful, like the situations and stuff? Like,
you know what? To be completely honest, yes, was there stress involved, of course, but it was a lot for me. I feel like The Bachelor was insanely more stressful and like a lot more of a pressure cooker, just because it's 2 months of insane. You have the first month where the physical toll of just long nights and very little sleep, to the second month where it's more the emotional toll and all that. So this, I kind of like, it was definitely stressful, but I think I managed it a lot better and I was better suited for that kind of environment. Just again, being, growing up playing sports, I've just always been an extremely competitive person. And when I kind of get into that mode, into that zone, it just like, I like kind of like thrive in that kind of situation. And so while it was stressful, it was a good stress. I enjoyed it. I loved, it was one of those where you wake up it's hard to go to sleep every night because you're so excited for the next morning, and you're doing all your notes on your notepad, just trying to figure out gameplays or how you're going to play the next day, and you don't know how it's going to go. And so it was like that anticipation, all that mixed in with a little bit of stress. I loved being in that state. And so, kind of answer your question, anything with that kind of show, I'm definitely moving away from the love aspect of shows, and that's not my forte. But I would love to, if any cool opportunities like the Traitors came up, I would definitely love to take advantage of that for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure like so many other shows are going to reach out for you to come back, or just to go on, or to come back on. Because like I said, like your strategic gameplay, just again, from a viewer standpoint, from my standpoint, and like your competitive side, like on the challenges too. I was talking to a bunch of people about this, even like Audrina, like, everyone.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how you were able to like pin people against people, and I thought like that was very smart too.
You don't know how you're gonna like react to it. Obviously it's a big game of Clue, and so you go into it, and it's a lot of it's just by the seat of your pants, and you got to be able to adapt really quickly. But yeah, I don't know. Again, that kind of environment, I really enjoyed. It's just, I think anyone would enjoy it. It's like I said, real game of Clue in a castle in the Highlands of Scotland. You got Alan Cumming, who's just an incredible host, and such an ultimate professional in the way he plays that role. And so it's so easy to like really get lost in it. And you should go on it, dude. I feel like you'd have some good success with that as well.
Yeah, man. I've been reached out to by a bunch of reality shows for like years. And I've always been like nervous to like go on, just because I think the biggest thing for me is like the edits of stuff.
It's totally fair. In this world of reality TV, that's always going to be a thing that you're never going to fully have control over. But one thing I'll say, like with at least from my experience of what I can speak on, you compare the two types of shows that I've done, and maybe like in the love shows, they have to, like a little bit of drama maybe has to be fabricated, and edit can help that course of action be taken by the show. But in like a competitive show, there's really no need to like edit too much, because once you put people like kind of going against each other, and it's a really competitive environment, you're going to have the drama. It's just going to naturally come up. And
well, I will say this: if they reach out, I will definitely do it. Now,
there you go.
I will definitely do it.
I love it.
There's just so much that I feel like goes into it with like the personalities too, because you have all those different types of shows as well, and some of those shows, the characters or whatever you want to like call those, like people, even though it is reality, it's like they play the character here and there and stuff. And there must have been like, so many different like character like clashing against, from like the really outgoing to the really introverted type of people. And at least that's what I witnessed when I watched it. Yeah.
There was strength in being loud. That's kind of like I quickly kind of learned that strategy, because I actually went into it. I was probably going to, I've never been like that super loud, boisterous kind of personality, like never the loudest one in the room kind of thing. And I've, in that kind of environment, I would have thought I would have sat back more and listened more than I spoke. And I did that a little bit in the beginning. And then for me, again, kind of like I was saying, you go by the seat of your pants, and things change from day to day. I kind of like quickly realized, all right, I'm switching this tactic up at this point. And then when you kind of make your bed, and you're stuck with it. And so now you can't kind of go back to being quiet and just, being like a wallflower, if you will. But I think there was strength in being loud, and you kind of keep heat on people. That's your protection in a way. And whether that was right or wrong, I guess it wasn't ultimately right, because I didn't win it. So can't take, claim too much credit for that being super successful. But yeah.
You went pretty far though. I mean, your strategy definitely worked. Like, I wouldn't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, no, I was happy with it for sure.
But dude, I've also been watching you like travel everywhere too. Never been more jealous. I'm like sitting doing all this stuff, and I'm like really jealous right now. How's that been?
Dude, it's been great. Been a fun last couple months. Been able to do a lot of cool trips. We actually just got back. My family, we become big cruisers, which is kind of
really
it's super random. Kind of, I work with Celebrity Cruises a lot, and I have a partnership with them, and so they're the absolute best, and I'm so happy. Honestly, one of my favorite partnerships I've ever had, just because I didn't really know what I was missing, and like I guess being such like growing up, we were a flying family, so we'd always just obviously take a plane and go to whatever destination. But we were talking to there's a really great artist on this last trip we went to Alaska, and she was describing cruising and it's so true. It's like it's the perfect appetizer for where you want to go travel. next. Because you go to each, these locations, and it's a little, maybe a couple hours, 10 hours here, maybe even less at a certain port, but you have a great opportunity to say, hey, is that a place I'd want to go spend a lot more time at? Or, you know what, I'm good with that. I don't have to see it again. And you hit up like 4 or 5 of these on one cruise on top of the cruise itself being so fun. So we, this last one, we went to Alaska, and that was the most beautiful cruise I've ever been on in my entire life. If anyone is listening to this, is into cruising, do that cruise. If you're going to do one, do that. Especially in the summertime. We left out of Seattle and went all through Alaska and Juneau and Ketchikan, Skagway, and got to see these insane. We went to the Dawes Glacier, which is one of the most stunning. Imagine a cruise ship literally going like the Titanic, right? But it's it's designed for this. It cruises through icebergs that it's breaking through to get to the end of this kind of channel where there's this huge glacier that is, it's receding, it is melting, so it's going farther and farther back, but just very, very magical. We were up there close to the summer solstice, so it was, the days were insanely long, and that was an absolute blast. If anyone, again, on the cruising thing, if anyone's interested, on Traitors theme as well, we're doing the Cruise of Deception next April 2025 into May. And that's out of Fort Lauderdale, and we're going to be doing the Caribbean, but we're also playing a game of the Traitors. A bunch of the cast are coming on, and we're hosting, and we're playing a full game and cash prizes at the end. So that'll be super cool as well on the whole theme of Traitors and cruises.
Wow. You know what's funny? Last weekend, I had a healthy debate, I will say, with my friends about cruises, because we were talking about like when you go on a cruise. I mean, you said it perfectly. I think it's an appetizer before you can, like, if you decide to go to like Europe or something in Europe or whatever. But like the debate was like, do you say you visited the place you were at? Because you have a day there typically, right? Like you dock, you have like 9-10 hours, and then you go back or whatever the time is. And I was saying, I was like, you can get a feel to come back to a place. And someone else was saying, no, like you went there, that's it. Like you can mark it off that you visited, like, let's say the country of like Italy, like say you're going through whatever. And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like there's so much past like the dock and where you can go past like wherever you dock. And we were having this debate about it, like this like long, like we weren't like yelling at each other, but that's a good way to put it. It's like an appetizer before you want the main course of like going there and visiting all the different spots within that. But I always want to go to Alaska. That's like also another place that I've spoken about with my family to go to, because I do have family there.
Oh, wow. What part?
I'm going to get so judged by this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to push you on the spot. Sorry about that. So Alaska, I love Alaska. Alaska's great. Definitely you should go there.
I'm going to be so
sorry about that. That's hilarious. No, I mean, to kind of give my 2 cents for your debate with your friend there. I mean, if I don't know what side you were on. I would side on the one of if you can see everything there is to see and you can cross off a place off your list, your bucket list, and never see it again from being there for 8 hours. I think that's probably a testament to the place not being the most interesting or beautiful spot to go check out. I like to think that you can't probably see everything there is to see it in that short time.
That's what I said.
Okay,
that's
so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
But again, maybe some people you just want to see it and kind of cross it off, and maybe it's not an appetizer. Yeah. Maybe it's the full course meal for you. Going on a cruise, and that's all you need. I guess that's the thing. It can be whatever it needs to be for whatever kind of person you are. So I'm just saying I love cruises and never really realized I'd be such a big cruise fan, but I am now.
I have to try it. I've never been on a cruise before. Like my family's also like not a flying family like your family where you guys all like worked and work in the industry. We just never went on cruises. And I've been talking about like the interest of me, like at least trying one out. Like, because like I can't say I like them or don't like them if I've never tried it. Like I can't make like a fair like judgment on it, but I have been like talking about it recently, which is like weird because we were just talking about it last weekend, like literally last weekend I was talking about it. It's strange.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's got everything. It's got incredible food, entertainment. You got the pool scene, you got fancy nights, you got casino. And then on top of that, you're traveling, you got beautiful views. So yeah, maybe I go from Pilot Pete to Cruise Pete doesn't sound
to Cruise Pete.
The alliteration isn't quite there.
No, the pilot P this rolls off the tongue so much.
Yeah.
So much better. Do you have any other trips like lined up, or besides like the Traitors cruise coming up in April?
So we have that one. We actually have another. I'm doing another family cruise in October. Where that's the first. Now we're going to Europe. We're gonna do. We've never done a European cruise, so yeah. Other than that, no other trips outside of possibly to work trips. It's you say yes. I've been definitely traveling a bunch and I love it. Obviously, that's what I'm made to do. But I also it's nice now. Like this last week, I've kind of just been in New York and just like been able to just chill and take it easy. So
yeah, I was just about to ask. Like, are you back in New York?
I still based out in New York, but I think my time may be coming here at the end of this lease. So we'll see. If it is, I will have no regrets. This has been I feel like I've done as much as I could here, and I'll be back a bunch. But yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, dude, I would love to give you like a little mini reading.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, dude, I would love to give you like a little mini reading here, just so you don't get like creeped out or anything. When I do readings and stuff, I kind of like stare off. And the reason why I won't look at the cameras when I'm saying, it's really because I like to hyper focus and just blank out my mind when I do this stuff. Okay. And I don't really like going off of like anyone's reaction to anything. There will be times I'll pick up my head and obviously like look and like chat with you and stuff.
Okay.
That's the whole thing. But yeah, no, I just want to give like a little mini one because you've never done it with me. We've only chatted about it.
No, we never have. You're so right. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm excited for this. Thank you for offering.
All right. Oh, I've never heard of this before. So your grandfather on your father's side is coming through. Who has the O name? Who has like a unique O name?
Opie.
Oh, okay. But you have another one.
Opie and Omi. So Opie is it's like our nickname for them is like a German nickname. My grandfather is Opie and Omi is my grandmother.
I have to be honest, your grandfather seems very fun.
Oh yeah.
Very, very fun. Like
absolutely. He's the best.
He keeps playing like an instrument and he keeps like laughing by playing like an instrument, keeps going like side by side.
No way. One.
That's why I think he's very fun.
No way. What's the yeah, my dad has a picture of him. I'm blanking on the name of it where you compress it. It's a piano.
It's like an accord. It's like an accordion.
Accordion, yeah, where you compress it.
Because he's holding it and he keeps dancing side by side, but he keeps doing.
Dude, that's crazy. My dad, I kid you not, my dad has his favorite picture of his dad is a picture of Opie with the accordion playing it in on a couch in Wells in our summer house, and he's like just the biggest smile on his face. That's wild.
Can you send it? I want you to send it because I want to see because. He keeps like just dancing around and just like playing. He's just such a good guy. Was he not here with us when you were on the show? Because he keeps talking about him watching you from a different perspective when you were on your first show, not the creator.
None of the shows. My so he was the only grandfather that I ever met. I never met my mom's dad. But all I had my two grandparents on my dad's side and my grandmother on my mom's side. They all passed about within the same year around my freshman year of high school.
Oh, okay, yeah, because he keeps saying he's just saying he watched you and you made him proud because he's saying like a big concern of yours was making not just your family that are here proud, but them proud specifically. He keeps tapping himself and stuff, and he's also smiling. I just want to let you know he's holding your dog too. So I just want to let you know that.
What?
Too.
Oh, Trip?
Yeah, the small white dog, right?
Trip, yeah.
Yeah, because he's holding. Oh wow, he's lived a pretty crazy life. Your grandfather, like a fun life, is what I want to say. Like a fun life. Because he keeps talking to me about so he fully lived in Germany, correct? Like he did he live in Germany and then come to the United States?
Wow, yeah. He met my grandmother, Omi, he was in the war. And my grandmother was German from Berlin, and he was stationed out there.
Yeah, because he keeps talking to me about just a whole new life and perspective from another country and from other people. What he's also, I have to ask you, he's wearing these huge glasses. Did he have those old grandpa glasses?
Yeah.
My grandpa used to wear them all of the time.
Dude, you'll see in the picture.
And also, I have to say, no judgment over here with me, but he seems like he had a pretty full head of hair.
Yeah,
like
he did
because he keeps rubbing his hair and he keeps talking to me about he was proud of it. Like he was very proud of it. Like
he definitely did. He had a lot of white. It was all white, but he had a lot of it. Yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah, because he literally keeps playing with his head, and what you said before about multiple of your grandparents that passed in like a short like time frame, I guess, like in when you were a freshman, you were saying, who's the other O name connected to him?
Omi, my grandmother.
I'm assuming you like knew her.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're both my grandparents.
I have to be honest, he's busting chops a lot. He's like always joking right now. He's just being like a fun. That's why I said to you, he seems really awesome and fun. He's not being like serious. He's being just the funnest grandfather out there. Because he's holding hands with the other. Like he's just saying, oh, he was really close to your dad too.
Mm-hmm.
So was he also involved in planes too?
My grandfather, no. My dad was the first one. My grandfather, he was an engineer, yeah.
Well, he just keeps talking about how he could put together things. So that's why I didn't know if he was a mechanic on a plane for the war and stuff or whatever. That's why I was asking if he was also like a plane person, because he keeps saying he's making a joke, at least to me. He's saying kind of like, you ever heard the expression when someone says like work smart, not hard?
Mm-hmm.
You know, always get something done the first time.
Yeah.
He keeps saying he to put together things with just like looking at it like one time. Do you know people that are very good with their hands that can put things together very easily?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
When he went to Germany, did he came back to the United States with your grandmother?
Yeah. Yep. He brought my grandmother back.
Oh wow. Yeah, there's a lot for your dad too. Like, I have to be honest, because that's why I asked if they were so close, because he's saying like he misses, obviously, you know, like he misses and loves him so much. Like that's obviously without question,
mm-hmm.
or like anything. But it's mostly the relationship that they had seemed to have been like really tight knit, close. Do you know people that are like caretakers of people that like watch out for them to make sure like they're all good, like when they get older?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I'm doing that for my grandma. Like I'm, you know, making sure she's good, trying to take care of her because she's, you know, whatever. Because he keeps talking about just endless things towards your father. There's like endless things. And I'm sure your dad doesn't even need to hear it or know it. But from my perspective, seeing him for the first time and...
Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah, they were very close.
Really, your dog is. Like, he keeps playing with your dog and squeezing its face. Because he's saying, like, that death really, like, rattled you pretty bad.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that was my life dog trip.
So I want to ask you this because he's showing this to me. Sometimes people take hair from dogs and stuff before they pass away. Like, they'll do something in honor for, like, the dog, whether it's a hair or something. Because he keeps saying you have something in honor of your dog, whether it's, like, the hair, the paw, or he keeps putting, like, the arm out. So I have to ask you this with him before I go back to this, because he's kind of, like, talking a lot. You know, people are very old-fashioned, valued. Like,
mm-hmm.
I'll throw my grandfather in. If he knew that I had tattoos, I think he would roll over. And great, honestly. Taking an ink and he's putting it on you. Do you have tattoos?
Yeah, I have a tattoo for Trip, yeah.
Oh, okay, because he's like literally comparing it to my grandfather, because like my grandfather was very, you know, he's from Sicily. He was very like old school Italian. And he's like, don't mark up your body. He always told me like, you know, don't ever mark up your body. And like I said, he'd be rolling over in his grave right now.
Yeah, I have a tattoo of Trip right here.
Oh, okay, yeah, because he's just making a joke about it. So he's but it's really with the hair of the paw print or something.
I have his hair, Trip's hair, next to my. So I have his like his ashes with a picture of him, and his vest that he'd always wear, like his collar. But I have his hair in there as well. That I smell a lot just to like feel close to him.
Because your grandfather keeps saying like any like it's very interesting from, because like, you know, I'm not like an animal medium, I guess that's not, but your grandfather's the one who's showing it to me, and he keeps saying like whenever you think of your like Trip, think of your grandfather, because they're together. Like,
oh my God,
like that's why he's saying like when you think of him, like your like Trip, think of your grandfather. And also too, I kind of ask you this too. This is so funny. He's so like my grandfather, where like, you know, people have like their chest out in pictures where they wear stuff with like their chest out. He keeps saying he was the most relaxed grandfather. Like he's saying he just like loved. He keeps talking about like loving to be around. It seems like you guys, but also just like having, you know, people that are like life of the party type of people that can like make everyone have fun. Because he keeps saying that you guys kept him on his toes. Like you guys kept him on his toes like all of the time.
Really?
Yeah, he's really talking a lot about your dad too. Like there's like a lot for your father about, you know, after he passed, obviously people get their loved ones things, whether it's tangible items like clothes or, you know, whatever. Because he keeps talking about like it's funny you bring up the military stuff, because he is talking about how the military changed his life, obviously for the good, for meeting your grandmother and stuff. But he's just talking about how that all kind of changed his life. And he keeps talking about when someone dangles medals in front of me, typically what it signifies is like someone who obviously would get a medal, but it's also someone that has their military things. Like I have my grandfather's stuff, but what he keeps showing to me about that specifically is like sometimes things get lost and stuff. Like sometimes things get just like lost from like moving or whatever. But there's something with his, because he keeps dangling like the military stuff in front of me, which is like kind of awesome. But he's also saying to me too that,
so like it was something I lost?
No, you didn't lose it. It's kind of like when people get stuff, like if your father has like his military stuff, it's kind of like if stuff is like put away or it's kind of lost. But he's talking about, it's not the uniform and things like that. It's like when they dangle medals, it's something additional to the like uniform that he wants you to have. Like he's talking about like an item that he wants you to have specifically, because he's saying like how you have Trip stuff, he wants you to have his stuff next to Trip stuff. You know, your dad should, like I said, should just know just like how special he was and is to him, because it seems like your dad, like obviously, I'm assuming, stay in contact. Who's because he keeps bringing this woman up. Who's Karen?
My aunt.
I'm assuming, is that your dad?
His daughter, yeah.
Okay.
What?
Because he keeps saying that everyone is still one happy like family.
That's great.
You know, family stuff and keeping family close is important, because he keeps emphasizing keeping people safe and protected and close, and also kind of having a good time too is what he keeps talking
that is
about.
Wild, man. Oh my gosh. That's everything you just said. That I was not expecting that. That's insane.
Yeah, dude, I'm so happy I got to do this.
Wow. I'll tell Opie I love him. I love him and I miss him like crazy.
He loves you, misses you like crazy, and he misses everyone, because he seems like he was even close with like your mom too. Yeah, it seems, even though like they're like not like family. Biologically. Yeah, he just seems.
Yeah, he was just the best. I have so many memories of he was an engineer, just insanely smart, and my brother got the brains, I think, from him, because it's always been harder for me. But like every summer he'd be my tutor and doing our math. We doing our math, summer homework, and he'd always be tutoring me and everything. And yeah, I had so many good memories with him. I definitely miss him a bunch.
Yeah, he misses you guys like crazy too. So don't ever think like he's not with you. But it's kind of awesome that he brought your dog in too. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't really do animals. Like I don't ever really do them, and that was really cool. At least an experience for me that I haven't really ever done too. The fact that he did that for me was very cool.
That is so cool. What's kind of funny too is you're talking about hair, and Trip had that white hair too, and that blondish white as he got older. But I've actually thought too, his hair reminds me of Opie's hair. It's the exact same color. And so, you talk about, I'll always now connect them too and know that they're together. That's really sweet.
100%, man. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, dude, for coming on here and for letting me do this and trusting in me to give you a reading. It means a lot.
Of course, man. Wow, you got me emotional. I was not expecting that, but thank you. I really appreciate that.
Wow, guys, what an amazing interview and reading. I'm blown away by it still. All right, guys, like I promised, I will be updating you right now about the unsolved case that I've been working on, and it's the Jared Bridegan case. I want to take you back to when I first got the email to be involved in this case. Now, just like every other case, I get emails from the family and law enforcement. So in this particular case, I got an email from Jared's sister. And before I do any like unsolved case, I always try to get, both parties involved and like on board with it. So I wanted not just the sister and the family to be on board, but the law enforcement to also be on board. And once that happened, they said, all right, it's time to do a reading. And as you guys know, and as I always tell everyone, it's always at random. Like I don't really have any time to kind of prep. I don't have any time to do anything. I get an email and they say, okay, jump on in 5 minutes. So I jump on. And for those of you who don't know about this case is insane. Now, I only learned about it after I did the reading, but just to let you guys know, Jared was driving in Florida. He was driving on so like imagine you're on a very tiny road kind of going through maybe the fields or mountains, wherever you're from, but it's a 1-lane road on both sides. And he's driving and he has his kids, in the car. He pulls up and there's tires kind of stacked on both ends, whether it's coming with traffic and against traffic. So he gets out to move the tire and gets ambushed by people and gets killed. So I get called in because they don't know who set it up. They know who did it. They just don't know who set it up. And that's a big, big thing because they think it is someone very close to him, which their person of interest, I will say, is his ex-wife, who is from Utah. And, it's becoming a very big, big case because the attorney that is repping the ex-wife, who they think, has involvement, who is a person of interest, her attorney represented Casey Anthony, Aaron Hernandez, and all of those big cases that we've seen on TV and even heard about in the news. So when I got called in, they needed every little detail that I could possibly give them to kind of have a leg up because they knew when they go to trial that it's going to be a very, very large spectacle because that's what this attorney, from what I heard, is known for. So when I went in there, which is interesting because I think sometimes people think that, people that come for the reading for these unsolved cases are always so open and so, let's do it. It's not really like that. They typically will come and they're kind of standoffish, but they heard I got recommended and heard of me from other law enforcement. So I do the reading, right? And I'm able to provide some names, some additional names that they did not even think was there, plus some other, I guess you can say, where to find other types of DNA, right? So I do the reading and I don't really hear back, I guess. And I heard back a little bit later on that some of the stuff that I said, they were able to kind of follow through. And like I said before, I'm not admissible in court. I'm typically everyone's last resort, which is okay when their back is against the wall. And when they found the stuff that I was talking about and additional people, they were able to kind of have that leg up in the trial that's probably happening right now. And it's unfolding, and I cannot wait to continuously update you guys on this case because it's going to be a wild one. Thank you everyone for listening, and also thank you, Pete, for joining me on the show. Guys, please give my Instagram at JonathanMarkMedium a follow because I will be picking one person a week to do a reading. And all you have to do is just DM me on social media. It's that easy. Follow, rate, and review, connect with Jonathan Mark. It helps out so much, guys. All right, I'll see you every Tuesday, and I'll see you next week.